weather today, only 101. It could be 110. Um, at the triple digits, but nice cooling off for our 4th of July celebrations. Please be aware of dogs in the neighborhood and your own dogs. Dogs get really scared. Most our pets get really scared of explosions and firecrackers. So please be careful about that. There's a poll we have, which we're not ready to show yet because there's not enough respondents. What is the right deportation policy for the United States? Please go to the to GB Wire website or on Facebook. Uh, the poll is there. Please feel free to fill it out. There are very few respondents, and right now, deport all undocumented immigrants is over 50%, but very few folks have voted. So we're going to keep that open for another year. I'm kidding, for a few more days, probably through the 4th weekend, 4th, 5th, 6th. They'll probably take it off Monday morning. So please, if you care about immigration and want your voice heard, please fill out that poll, please.
Well, Darius, I agree with you, and I think viewers to the show tonight should just look at these building blocks of smart immigration reform, a path for earned citizenship, a guest worker process for in-demand industries, dreamers given priority and a fast track to earn permanent citizenship. Many of the dreamers have, been here nearly their whole lives. And let's not ignore reality. We need a secure border to ensure that violent criminals, terrorists, cartel members can't get into our country. Need strong vetting. And then we need to clear the criteria for refugees that come to America just as they have for more than a century. It's to seek asylum, to have religious freedom, to flee their own country where their lives may be in danger. And, I think this is being lost. America is still, despite all of America's flaws, has a fantastic constitution and has freedom of speech and is still a beacon to immigrants. Darius, I want to make one other point. We have congressmen, including those who represent the Valley, that say immigration reform's too complicated, we can't get it done. Well, you know what? One of the third rails of California politics was you can't ever change CEQA. That's the California Environmental Quality Act. We had governors who said, hey, you guys can talk about it, but I know it's not going to happen. Or we had governors that made half-hearted attempts. I think Governor Newsom is very stung right now. And I think he's kind of tired of listening to advisors. I think he's tired of playing politics the way he always has. And so what did he do? He told the legislature, I'm not signing your budget bill unless you pass CEQA reform. So something that Californians thought to be impossible was done Monday, and it was forced by the governor.
We're gonna,
If we
yeah.
can have CEQA reform, we can have immigration reform.
You're just trying to put a little band-aid on the wound or taking aspirin for the massive tumor that's in your head. Go get tumor therapy, which is comprehensive immigration reform. And shame on our politicians, elected officials, and Congress that they can't execute that. And I know President Trump wants it because he almost got that in his first term. Last president that was courageous enough to do something about immigration was President Reagan, Republican president in his second term, 86, 87. Okay, let's quickly move on. Some international news. Britain's co-op stores to stop sourcing from Israel as part of a protest against the Israeli occupation, killing, whatever you want to call it. Some people call it a massacre. Some people call it genocide. Some people call, well, we know that 50 to 70,000 people have been killed. The next slide. This is United Nations peacekeepers, UN member of the United Nations. I can't remember her exact title. It's what is that? Lisa I'm sorry, Lisa Doughton. Gaza is home to the largest cohort of child amputees in modern history. We cannot claim ignorance of what is happening, nor can we afford to look away.
Economists who are respected say that if this bill can get through the House and is signed, it will cost America about 2.3 million jobs. We know there are all kinds of estimates on how many trillions it would add to the uh, U.S. debt. The other thing is, excuse me, this bill passed in the Senate because they did rescind the taxes on green energy that was put in there. And Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Joni Ernest from Iowa, green energy, very important to their states. They were able to get that in there, so they went ahead and voted for it. However, what they put in there really doesn't help green energy production in the United States and Darius, many red states, because they got incentives from the Biden administration, uh, future tax credits. They're starting infrastructure projects to support green energy. And now we have green energy advocates saying this will be the largest energy price increase in the history of the nation. And we know many of the people in red states are struggling. They live paycheck to paycheck. And if they're going to have a 15 to 20% energy bill hike, I don't think they're going to be very happy about that. So to me, this bill has never made sense. But then you could say, oh, Bill, you're a policy wonk. Um, really don't understand what's going on here. And I'll finish with this, Darius. When you talk about how big this would add to the debt, the bond markets will be the ultimate deciders of this.
Despite a $49 million deficit, Fresno Unified gives top brass 5% raise, 3% one-time bonus. Be interesting to see how the teachers feel about this and what's going to happen, what their reaction is going to be. Um,
So, Darius,
yeah,
teachers are getting the 5% raise, 3% one time bonus. They negotiated that. But there's nothing in the contract that says whatever the teachers get, that has to go to the top brass as
is
well.
okay.
And
So
you would note
yeah,
with the 49 million deficit and the salaries that Fresno Unified's administration makes, just from a public relations standpoint, if I was one of them, I'd say, you know what, I'm going to forego that raise and that bonus, or I'm going to take it, but I'm going to write a check to the Fresno Unified Foundation for scholarships. To me, it's just very unseemly. And for Superintendent Misty Herr, there was some clap back on her high starting salary, considering she'd never been a superintendent before. And she's in, the job for 2 months. She gets an $11,000 raise right
there you
off the
go.
bat.
There you go. Something we've talked about here, and the performance. I haven't seen updated scores. Uh, we're going to be sharing those as performance scores or test scores come out on English and math for Fresno Unified students. Uh, okay, Fresno Unified's embattled communications director, Nikki Henry, exits. Quote, I own my mistake. I won't let it own me. So she's been gone for a few weeks on leave, and there's a lot of rumors flying around, but article came out this afternoon by Edward Smith. Communications chief Nikki Henry announced on social media she has left the position. Henry took responsibility for producing a document ordered by Superintendent Misty Herr, document fabricated attacks by the teachers union. FDA president said the district is still trying to excuse deliberate misinformation. I bet Nikki Henry knows a lot about what's going on inside Fresno Unified. Be interesting to see what kind of a release President Unified puts out about her departure.
They're not going to put out a release story.
Are they gonna? Are they gonna? Do you think, Bill? Let me ask you this: do you think they've had her sign a mum? The mum's the word. Don't. You can't say anything. Either we're gonna sue you or we're gonna not pay you money. Would you think that the district has done something like that with
Well,
Nikki?
as we saw in the superintendent search, Fresno Unified's a big fan of NDAs.
That's true. That's true. Uh,
So she was given a severance package. It's going to have to be accounted for somewhere in the budget. It'd be subject to a Public Records Act. Um, they would probably fight to keep the name, saying it was a personnel, to keep the name secret, saying it was a personnel matter. They might even cite that an NDA was signed if one was signed. So that's something we're gonna do. We're gonna ask to see we're gonna ask them if there was a severance package, how much it was. And
uh,
we'll
can,
see what their answer is.